What you are about to see is something that's pretty much prototypical what you see in the black community, which is a serious issue, no father around, only mother, child that's clearly out of control, can't control his body. Let's see.
First at 5, a Detroit mother outraged. Her 7-year-old son's finger was severed off at school, and now she's suing his first grade teacher and the district.
7 Action News reporter Kimberly Craig talked to this mom today about what happened. Kim, how's her little boy doing now?
Dave and Glenda, Jason is doing okay, but we want to warn you that the pictures you're about to see are graphic.
Is it me or does this woman have like a very like deep raspy voice? Like even my voice ain't that deep, and I'm a dude. I don't know if that's a good thing, though. All right, let's continue.
Because doctors could not reattach the tip of his finger. And his mom says what the school should have done that day was call 911 and rush him to the nearest hospital.
Is when I get to Henry Ford, when they unwrap it, when I see the bone sticking out, is when I just like, oh my God, his finger is gone.
Camilla Barnes says it was only at the hospital that she saw the horror of what happened to her 7-year-old son's finger at school. She says the day it happened, the staff here at Henderson Academy called her.
Do you see that? Do you see that sign? Does that look like any place you'd want to send your child? Now I get it. Not everybody can afford charter school or private school or something like that, but shouldn't that be a clear warning? You probably don't want to send your child here. Let's continue.
Told her to come to the school, but she says they downplayed the emergency it should have been.
I never knew it was amputated. Nobody told me that it was amputated. The doctors did.
Barnes and her attorney Jonathan Marco say it was last fall when Jason's first grade teacher began losing her temper when he couldn't fold his paper the right way and told him to sit in the hallway.
Jason tried to get back in the classroom.
Okay.
She saw the door opening.
Wait a minute. So the teacher got mad at him because he couldn't fold his paper the right way. Now, I'm torn because the little boy looks like he's still pretty young, but he could possibly be pretty old. And he couldn't fold a piece of paper? It just seems like he should have been able to fold a piece of paper. But on the other hand, even if he couldn't fold a piece of paper, why the hell would you put... Why would you... Oh, it had to be a black teacher. Why would you send the student... Why would you get so mad that you put the student outside the class because he couldn't fold his paper the right way? I think there's more to the story that they're not saying. Let's continue.
Became angry, lost her temper, and as he was trying to get
look
back,
at-
she
look at what he's doing.
recklessly slammed the door shut so hard it cut off the tip of his finger.
I believe she was frustrated, and when she put him out, I think that, she didn't, like, purposely, want you to stick your hand in, but I believe she was neglectful when she did it.
This is a case of, I've had it with you, kid, and she lost her temper, and she slammed the door, and it was like a guillotine on his finger.
Barnes says when the nurse handed her a plastic bag, she had no idea it contained part of her son's finger.
Let's rewind that back.
Handed her a plastic bag, she had no...
Case of, I've had it with you, kid.
You see how this little boy...
And she lost her temper, and she slammed the door, and it was like a guillotine on his finger.
You see this?
Barnes says...
They're trying to do an interview, and this little boy's over here playing in the chair. Can you see why the teacher probably lost their cool? I'm not saying this is okay. By no stretch of the imagination is what this teacher did okay. But can you see why she probably lost her cool and why it probably was a little bit more deeper than just folding paper? He probably was just hyper and was moving all around because nowadays they think that little boys should just be cooped up in classrooms for 6 hours a day and not have any type of playtime or get all that energy and aggression out on the playground. They just want to coop them up in a classroom and try to teach them for 6-7 hours a day. And that's not how little boys are wired. They have to be active. I have 3 of them. They need to be active. You cannot keep them cooped up in the house, in the school, anywhere where there's four walls. You cannot keep them cooped up for a long period of time. But you can see this little boy was in the middle of an interview, was over there just moving back and forth. Let's watch it again.
His finger.
I believe she was frustrated, and when she put him out, I think that, you know, she didn't like purposely, want you to stick your hand in it, but I believe she was neglectful when she did it.
This is a case of I've had it with you, kid, and she lost her temper and she slammed the door, and it was like a guillotine on his finger.
Look at
Warren says when the nurse handed her a
It's like
plastic
he's
bag,
like
she had no
trying to
idea
piss the
it
dude
was
off
part of her
or
son's
distract him.
finger until she got to the hospital.
The nurse handed me the bag, so you might want to take this with you when you go to the emergency. Still not telling me that's the tip of his finger, like completely amputated off. I'm thinking maybe it's the tip here. Some skin came off. We can go get it stitched back on, because they're telling me you may have to take your son to the hospital. You know, I'm not thinking it's an extreme emergency if you tell me may.
And we reached out to Detroit Public Schools,
What?
but it's
So because they didn't tell you it was an extreme emergency, you weren't going to actively take him to the hospital anyways? Is that what you're trying to say? If that's what you're trying to say, ma'am, you are a horrible parent. I don't care if it's a scratch. If someone tells me that my son or one of my sons hurt themselves, I am going to take it upon myself if I will ask, is it serious? Now, I don't know if she asked them if it was serious, because it sounds like she didn't ask them, is it serious? And I'm going to tell you what, it looks like it's a black school, so they probably didn't give a shit anyways. And I'm telling you, this little boy probably has some behavioral problems. And I'm just saying, there's more to this story than meets the eye. So I feel bad for the little boy. He, is forever gonna be missing a finger. But I don't know. It just seems like there's a little bit of blame to go around for everybody. But at the end of the day, this is why you want to get your children into a school where there ain't a lot of Negroes around. And if you do have Negro teachers, they are male Negro teachers. I'm just saying. All right. Like, share, subscribe. I'm out.